So we will continue working on root words, Aditya. And the root word that we have today is aster, astra, astra, or aster. You know that it means star. The examples are asterisk, astronomy. Now what is asterisk?
Asterisk?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's there on your computer keyboard, an asterisk sign.
You mean the ESC?
I mean the star sign. Is there not a star sign?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the asterisk sign. Okay, so you see that the word begins with aster here. And this is A-S-T-R. See this one? Astronomy. Now what is this? Astronomy.
It's a type of science?
Yes, of course, science. Well, this part, nomi, it means measurement. And this part means star. So put together it means measurement of stars. So can you say what it deals with? It's a
Measurement of stars.
yeah, it's a science that deals with the study of stars, to put it simply. So you have to work on this root word. So I expect you to write at least 3 words using the root words that I teach you. And there will be a test on the root words somewhere in the middle of the session. I mean, in the middle of the month. I won't tell you, so you have to be prepared. Do you get me?
Yeah.
Okay. So which was the root word that we learned in the last class? Do you remember that?
The root word?
Yeah. Let me see if you saw that.
Huh?
Let me see if you saw my assignment. It was related to, well,
Wait, the root words that we did last time?
yeah.
Okay,
You remember a picture of a man standing with a loudspeaker?
in the homework?
Not in the homework. In the session I showed you a slide of a man.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
So what was that related to?
Uh, something loud?
Listen here. Which were the root words? It was AUD, oud, and AUS, ours. So work on that too. And I will send ASTER and ASTR for you to work on. So you'll have 4 root words to work on. So the next topic, of course, is punctuation. Let me just take out that file for you. It's a simple exercise using apostrophe. It's a test, Aditya. We have already worked on apostrophes. It's coming, just a minute.
Yeah, the homework was about, like, one part was about, to decide the following sentences of if the hyphen was correct, and the second part was about they said how many verbs in a sentence and that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is there not a part which asks you to work on the root words as well?
Yeah, root words os and odd.
Yeah, that's what. So you have to work on that. A little slow in sending. Now you're having vacation, Aditya, so you have time. Mm. So you just have to look at the sentences there and tell me which sentence uses apostrophe correctly in the sentence. I mean, which of the sentences use apostrophes correctly? Sometimes two of them might use it correctly. Sometimes only one. So you just have to find out which among them use this punctuation mark correctly. Just put a tick mark against those use apostrophes correctly. Sometimes two of them might use it correctly. Sometimes only one. So you just have to find out which among them use. Very good. The answer is right. Next one. It's not the bags that are. Yeah, exactly. Very good, Aditya. Now the next one. No,
It's not it.
it's not.
Is it C?
No. Try again. The last one, that's right. Sissy, you mean both the parents. That's why I have to place the apostrophe towards the end. Yeah, the last question there.
Yeah.
Just that.
Uh, is it the first one?
Very good. Exactly. So I suppose you now have an idea of how apostrophe is correctly put?
Yeah.
Okay, Aditya. So, shall I send you some homework on this?
Yeah, sure.
Hmm? You need more homework?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So let's continue with grammar. So what was the subject that we discussed yesterday?
Today, what was the subject?
Yeah,
What do you
on
mean?
grammar?
On apostrophes?
No, on verbs. Was it not?
Yeah.
We discussed that verbs need not be action words. There could be verbs that gives you an idea about the state or even things possessed by a person. To be verbs and to have verbs and to have verbs. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'll teach you two more differentiation of verbs like transitive and intransitive. Have you heard these words? Transitive, intransitive?
Nope.
No. Okay, so in fact, the action verbs are divided into transitive and intransitive verbs. Now let me explain what these are to you. I'll write two sentences on the board and just look closely at those sentences and tell me what's the difference between those two sentences. So you see that both the sentences contain verbs. Now what's the difference between the first sentence and the second sentence? Can you find out and tell me? Your voice is quite low, Aditya. I don't hear anything.
The first sentence says that the students rang the bell.
Mm.
The second sentence says that the bell rang.
Yeah, so what's the difference? You see, technically speaking,
The difference is that a student rings the bell and the bell rang.
you see, both the sentences have the verb rang. In the first sentence and the second sentence, you see that the subject is there. Subject, verb, object. Subject, verb, object. Now just look at that. In the second sentence, is there an object?
No.
No. So you see the student rang what? You get the answer as the bell. But here it speaks about the bell. The bell is the subject here. The bell rang what? So there is no question that answers that question. What? So it means that here there is no object. So the verb that has an object is called a transitive verb, and the verb that doesn't have an object is called an intransitive verb. So in this sentence, the verb rang is a transitive verb, and in this sentence, the verb rang is intransitive. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll write one more sentence on the board. Now just tell me which is intransitive and which is transitive.
Wait, could you repeat what a transitive and intransitive is?
A transitive verb is the verb that has an object to it. Intransitive doesn't have an object.
They all three are intransitive.
Okay, so how do you find if the verb has an object or not? You have to ask the question what.
What sank the ship?
No,
The shot.
not like that. The shot sank what? Like that. The shot sank what?
The short sank what?
Yeah. So do you get an answer in the first sentence?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So what does that mean?
The ship.
Yes.
It's intransitive.
It's transitive, Aditya. Intransitive, in, that prefix means something that's absent, something that's negative, you see? In is negative. So transitive means one that has an object. So the first verb is transitive. Now what about the second one?
Intransitive.
Intransitive, good. Now look at the third sentence. It's rather tricky. The cat slept on the rug.
Intransitive.
Why? You're right. Why?
Because it says what slept on the